Hi, it's Mike here over in Taiwan. There's a lot of videos I've been watching about, I guess, the Philippines. Maybe it's because I crave drama. I'm just trying to look at what's going on the other side of the pond. But I probably shouldn't be watching that just because it has nothing to do with me. And there's some really hectic stuff going on over there, violence. But I'm really grateful in Taiwan. I think that what I'm trying to get at really is boundaries that you set with people or with the law or whatever it is, right? There's kind of a stereotype over in the Philippines that people will just be really happy in your face, and there's so much that you can get away with there. And I think the problem is that you're there, you're having a good time, and then sometimes you have just one drunk night or whatever it is, and then things go from 0 to 100, as the guy said in the video. And then you get stuck with all these problems that you don't want. There's also kind of especially for digital nomads who are men, to go over there, find yourself a wife, find yourself a girlfriend. And the thing is that it does come with some attachments. You have to take into consideration kind of their economic situation, right? You're probably going to get yourself a hot 25-year-old girlfriend or whatever, but she's got a whole all her relatives and all that stuff. And I know it's a little bit of a stereotype that she's kind of supporting or whatever. There's some people are not like that. Some people, they're just take me for who I am and take me for face value. And I shouldn't be ranting too much about the Philippines just because I've been there a couple of times, but I've never lived there. I'm just Taiwan is kind of, I guess it's home or whatever it is, right? So I just finished doing an English camp, and I think it was great for what it was. Met some interesting people. I hope that they don't fall off. I'm basically just talking about I sometimes I'll meet some people, and then after a while I just I'm not really friends with them anymore. Am I going to go back to that summer camp next year? It might be a possibility if I'm still in the same situation that I'm in now, but hopefully I'm not. Hopefully there's other things that I kind of got rolling that I don't need that camp anymore. But another thing that I kind of want to talk about in Taiwan is that as far as me and as far as maybe a lot of other foreigners here or whatnot, I think that Taiwan has. The reason why people don't leave Taiwan as a foreigner is that everything is here for them, and everything's taken care of for you. If you have a job, then you can be part of the national insurance, and you can get the medical care. It's really cheap, and every time that you get sick or whatnot, you just pop into the doctor's office and you pay $7, and then they treat you and they give you some cheap medicine, and you're good to go, right? Obviously that's not a good long-term strategy, but at the same time, you don't have to really worry about a lot of crazy things. I think that for example, with the stuff with COVID-19, I think that it was handled pretty well over here in Taiwan. So because it's so small, they're able to. I mean, I don't want to kind of go too far into it because I'm not an expert, but kind of contain what was going on and what they were doing and whatnot, right? So. You as long as you're a native English speaker or near native or whatnot, you can have a job teaching English, and it's not bad. I'd say probably on average, if you have a small size apartment, because usually for a single, it will cost you between $200 and $300 a month for your small apartment. Then all you have to do basically is just work 2 hours a day, which is nothing, right? People are busting their butt trying to work for 8 hours a day just to get $10 an hour where I'm from, right? So I think that the math kind of works out. Obviously, if you want to upgrade your life, though, you're gonna have to work more than 2 hours. 5 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours of teaching in one day, I think is more than enough. Especially because you're going to be having to teach kids. That's kind of the bottom line with teaching, is that you have to be good with strategies on how to handle classrooms, strategies on how young learners learn, right? A lot of people they'll have their dream job and be okay, I want to teach adults, right? Because it's a little bit less maintenance, but the problem okay, so with adults, usually their heart is not really into like learning English or whatnot. And then you have like private lessons too. And then usually private lessons, after maybe 5 or 6 lessons, they quit because they just lose the motivation. And I mean, yeah, you could say, okay, well, I'm going to put like 5 or 6 people in the same class or whatnot. But, you know, slowly over time, like some people, they might quit. Some people, you might be able to put more people in the class, but you know, you don't really want to have something like that. You want to have something where it's just like, you know, you go, you work, and it's stable. If so be it that if you want to leave Taiwan, like after maybe a year or two, at least you could say like, hey, I had a stable job and a stable life over in Taiwan. But, you know, if you want to stay for 5 years and get your like permanent residency, and you know, it can be also kind of a happy story that way. So the guys that I met over at the English camp, one's been here for God, like 30 years, or I don't know if it was 30 years or 20 years, but he's been here for like a donkey amount of time. And nice guy, pretty good guy. He's a British guy. So, and then the rest of the guys, it was like 10 years, whatever. You know, I think the thing is here that there's a lot of, especially among the expat community in Taiwan, I'd say there's like kind of this weird, people are like complaining about like what they have here, but like, yeah, there's pros and cons, and I'll be talking about this and probably until the end of when I stop doing like these videos and whatnot. But you know, pro about Taiwan, it's easy to just be here and do your stuff. Con about Taiwan, I keep saying this all the time, and then some people like they kind of get really irate about it, especially if they translate it from Mandarin Chinese to English. But people in Taiwan are helpful, but they're not friendly. And I mean, nobody's really obligated to kind of, you know, say like, hey, you want to go hang out and whatnot. Mostly it's kind of like an English thing. I think they say that is, yeah, because I don't speak English well and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, everything in Taiwan has to be like some type of a competition. Like my English is better than yours. My kids go to a better private school than you do, blah, blah, blah. And it's a little bit of a crabs in the bucket mentality when you get really close to talking to them, I guess, them. But, you know, really at the end of the day, you know, you got to find like your tribe. You got to find the people that you vibe with. Like if you don't really like those people who are really hyper competitive and into stuff like that, then don't hang out with them. You know, find some people who are a little bit more easygoing, a little bit more low key. And I don't know exactly where you can find those people. I found some of those people. I found like one person that I started hanging out with, or a little bit for a while, and he's very just like he doesn't want anybody to know about him or anything about whatever, blah blah blah. He's kind of very like standoffish that way, but he's a very friendly guy. And I don't know, it could be like one of those things where you're a little bit suspicious about like some people who like they just want to do their own thing, but why try so much? Why try to like investigate people? It's like I'm not really here for that. I'm not really here to judge like, you know, you're like this and you're like that and blah blah blah, because it's kind of a waste of my time. I feel, you know, it's kind of like a stereotype of like the old cat lady who, you know, they want to investigate everybody who comes into the neighborhood and whatnot. And I mean, really, who's the loser at the end of the day of that conversation? That sounds a little bit judgmental on my part, but because they're just wasting all their time and effort on trying to, you know, find out about people, and it's just basically broadcasting to everybody, this is how insecure I am. So guys, I just really think that, you know, I'm just really talking here about like whatever is happening on my life or whatever. And, you know, if you're, whatever you're doing in Taiwan, just kind of make the most of like each of the days. For the last week, I was like away from my regular full-time job. So coming back to my full-time job, it's pretty nice. And I guess looking at the calendar over there, I think it's probably the last week of August. So everybody's going to be going back to school next week. And yeah, so we're going to be going back into the same regular routine and getting away from this crazy heinous weather. But yeah, life is good in Taiwan. If you haven't been here yet, then please come, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.